everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be another experimental recipe. It's going to be in the Instant Pot this time. I'm attempting to make minestrone soup. I found a really cool recipe. I think I will tweak it a little bit. Hopefully it will work. So please make sure you stay tuned. These are the ingredients I'm going to be using. So I've got a can of chopped tomatoes, can of mixed beans, and a can of butter beans. But I think with the beans you can use whatever beans you've got at home, or whichever beans you fancy. And I think they even mentioned it in the recipe that you can potentially use chickpeas. So I'm going to be sticking to beans because we love beans in this house. So I'm going to be using also pasta because I quite like it in soup. But I think you can use elbow macaroni, whatever pasta shape you've got at home. And this is a 500 grams. I'm just going to be using half a packet of this. So 250 we are going to the soup. 100 onions, some sea salt. I'll be using my usual kucharak vegetable seasoning. By the way, make a comment because I've been calling it kucharak and it's probably not how it's pronounced. So let me know in the comment how you would pronounce it, but this is what I normally use. You can use vegetable stock if you wish, or even chicken stock if that's what you've got at home. And I got some garlic granules, but again you can use fresh garlic. And I got a couple of carrots. You can put 2 or 3 in, or you can leave them out if you want. And a couple of stalks of celery. And I'll be using olive oil, but again I think you can use any kind of oil you've got at hand. And I got my handy little chopper. I'm going to be using this to chop the onions and the colander as well, because I'm going to be washing these beans under running water. So let me crack on. I'll peel everything, chop everything up, wash the beans, and I will start sauteing it in Instant Pot. So I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I got all my vegetables chopped up. So I've got the 2 carrots, 2 stalks of celery, 1 red onion, and a little bit of olive oil. I'll probably put in maybe about 1 tablespoon. I don't really measure it. I just kind of eyeball it. This is the front of my Instant Pot, and I'm going to put it on saute, and it will start heating up the pot. So I'm just going to be stirring it until kind of start glazing over a little bit. And then in the meantime, I also rinse the beans. I don't know why they come up quite foamy when I start rinsing them, but hey ho. So I'm just waiting for everything to saute together. I'm going to pop the beans in, stir it up. I'm going to be doing the seasoning at that point, and then I'll put in the pasta, and the last thing I'm going to be putting in the chopped tomatoes on the top. But I'm going to be filling it up with water before I put the chopped tomatoes in, because I am dreading the burn notice. I don't know if you've seen one of my previous videos when I had to deal with the burn notice on the front of the Instant Pot. It was an absolute nightmare. So that's what I tend to do. Just put the tomato on the top as a last thing, so it doesn't kind of get stuck to the bottom. So hopefully it's not going to happen today. So I'm just waiting for this pot to heat up, and I'll start sauteing everything together. As you can see and you can hear, sizzling away nicely. I think I'm ready to put the beans in. I got all my beans in here nicely, stirring it a little bit, and next it's going to be to season it. So salt and garlic powder and kucharak universal seasoning, or it could be any seasoning of your choice. I think some people like using Italian seasoning. You can go wild really, whatever you want to put in it. All the seasoning is in now. So what I'm going to do next is turn off the saute function, because I'm just going to be popping some water in. I'm not measuring the water because really depending on the amount of vegetables you put in it, because obviously you have to, if you put a lot of vegetables in, you're going to end up with putting in a lot more water. So what I'm going to do, I will probably just put about this much, so everything is going to be on the water. You don't want too much water, but you don't want too little either, because obviously you're going to be putting in the pasta and going to be putting in the chopped tomatoes last. I guess it's kind of hard to see how much water I actually put in, but you see how much water there is between the vegetables and the line. So ready to put in the orzo pasta. The orzo doesn't need too long to cook, and I think even with elbow macaroni or any kind of smaller pasta shape, you don't really need to worry about is it going to be cooked or not, because the cooking time is not going to be that long. It's probably going to overcook rather than undercook. So I'm just double checking the orzo. I think it says about 5 minutes. But normally when I cook pasta in the Instant Pot, because that's what I normally tend to do, I just halve the cooking time, and very often I even take away 1 minute. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because the cooking time is going to be quite quick. As I said, I expect the orzo will be quite soft, but with the elbow macaroni, obviously cooking time would be more. Or even if you use fusilli might be a little bit under, but maybe it will be all right. So I would probably experiment and just use a little bit of pasta, whatever you've got at hand. I got my orzo in there and I got my chopped tomato and I'm ready to seal. So the seal is on, so make sure that the rubber seal is all the way around and make sure that the vent is all closed. And this is where the magic happens. So I put it on pressure cook, and it has to be on high pressure, and we're going to put it up to 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we will just have to do a quick release. It's going to be a natural release. We will be doing a manual release, a quick release on this in 10 minutes. And obviously, we're going to do a taste test. The 10 minutes is up, and we had no burn notice. It's absolutely brilliant. So I click on cancel, and I will have to do a manual release. So I will have to undo the knob very, very carefully. So open and close, open and close. This is extremely hot steam, so please be careful. You want to make sure that you've got no kids around, no pets around, you're away from the wall. Look after yourself. Finally, the little knobby thing is down. Let me have a look. So, moment of truth. Let's have a look. Alright. I think it's looking pretty good actually. I mean, also you can see it's really, really soft. I think it's quite a good consistency. Let me try to wipe this. But obviously we have to do the taste test. I think it's really, really good. It reminds me of tomato soup, really. Tomato soup with some vegetables and some pasta shape. Let me just check if the carrots are done. Let's check the also, because it looks like it's really disintegrated in there. I think it's good. It's good for a soup, but the pasta is obviously overcooked. So what I probably would do for this recipe next time, I would use a pasta shape that would be bigger than the orzo, nice and thick and chunky. So I can't wait to tuck in. Definitely, give it a go if you like minestrone or if you like tomato-based vegetable soup. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and you will give it a go. As I said, the only modification I would do is probably I would either use a bigger pasta shape so it doesn't kind of disintegrate in with the soup, or probably even better if you cook the pasta separate, just to make sure. To be honest, I think I probably would even use leftover rice with it. But even with the bigger kind of pasta shape, because the cooking time is 10 minutes, it probably would make the pasta super soft. Because the original recipe did state put the pasta in it, and it said elbow macaroni. I think it would have been the same with that one as well. Anyways, the takeaways, give it a go, but I would cook the pasta separately. Thank you very much for coming to find me today, and thank you very much for coming back. If you're an existing viewer, please let me know in the comment if you tried this recipe or how you modified it, what sort of pasta you used, or if you used any pasta at all. In the meantime, please don't forget to check out one of our family favorites, which is the Instant Pot Lentil Soup. Don't forget, I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so I shall see you all in the next one. Have a lovely day. Take care. Goodbye for now.